Okay. And let me pull up my first slide here. Okay, so what this is, Blackboard Cloud, what we're calling it, it's actually called Blackboard Software as a Service. That's what SaaS means. They call it Blackboard SaaS Plus. And so what we're going to do is kind of go through a little bit of what this is all about, what the change might mean for us, et cetera, and then when it's going to happen. Currently, TCC runs Blackboard on its own servers. There's actually 7 servers here at the Center for Creativity that Blackboard runs on. 5 of those are what we call the application itself. That's what you log into when you see Blackboard. There's one database system for essentially the back end of the system. And then the content server, which is where we store files, grade books, and so forth. What Blackboard is doing is, they've got customers like us that host our own platform. They'll host the Blackboard system. And so they've got thousands of these customers, thousands of schools that have Blackboard. And their competitors, namely Canvas and I think Desire to Learn and some others, have already moved to what's called the cloud. And in fact, even Blackboard has some of their services where, in fact, this Blackboard Collaborate system we're using right now is a cloud-based system. We don't have a server of our own. It's actually running on the system at Blackboard. So they're transitioning the Blackboard Learn system, which is our main Blackboard system, to the cloud. And they're planning on hopefully migrating everyone over the next couple of years to the Blackboard cloud so that the next versions of Blackboard will be just written for that cloud interface. And they will only have to deal with one big system instead of all these thousands of systems at different institutions on different versions of Blackboard and the problems that we have with hardware and software, et cetera, which is kind of what we just went through this beginning of this semester. A lot of the problems we were experiencing was not so much Blackboard, but the software and the hardware that we were running on causing some problems. So Blackboard Cloud, it's the same Blackboard that we're planning to go to. It's basically, our version is 9.1. The version we'll be going to on the cloud is 9.1. It'll just be using Amazon's cloud servers that Blackboard is paying for on their end. And so it will have the same look, feel. We probably won't really notice too much of a difference other than we are currently, I believe, a little over a year behind on our updates, the new software releases that come out for Blackboard. And the Blackboard Cloud will be the most current. So that's one difference there will be. So there might be some new features, some minor changes, et cetera, when we move to their cloud platform. So why are we doing this? Well, there's lots of reasons to do it. The big one, obviously, is that if we stay with Blackboard down the road, everyone will probably be on the cloud eventually. We're moving ahead with this because there's several benefits for us. First of all, the biggest to me is no more downtime. We will not need to take Blackboard down at the end of the semester for the 2-day period so that we can do backups and maintenance and all those things we do now. In fact, we will not need to take it down weekly. I don't know if everybody knows this, but we take it down Blackboard for about a 2 or 3 hour period from 12:15 in the morning on Wednesday mornings until about 3:15 in the morning to do some backups or maintenance or patches or whatever in that short downtime. That's every week. We will no longer need to take it down at all. In fact, Blackboard has a guarantee that the server will be up 99.5% of the time, which I think works out to somewhere around 5 hours a year total. So anyway, they guarantee that uptime. Blackboard will manage the architecture, actually the software and the back end for us. So we no longer have to manage our own servers. We no longer have to manage the operating system or even the database system. All we deal with is our kind of settings, so to speak, on Blackboard, which is still ours. We still will have our Tulsa Community College site, if you will, that's all ours. It is the same 9.1 architecture we currently use, so it should look exactly the same or pretty close to it. And Again, the move is because future revisions to Blackboard, anything new coming down the pike, is probably going to be on the cloud and not on the individual platforms any longer. They haven't made that announcement yet, but they strongly hinted at that happening in the near future. For us at TCC, this will actually give us some reduced operating costs. We will not have to manage our own servers. We will not have to license operating systems or database software. And the cost right now of doing all that is actually higher than paying the extra to go to the Blackboard cloud. So we think it's a better deal for us. Here's the thing, when this is going to happen. Originally, we were planning on looking at this for the end of fall semester, but Blackboard has encouraged us to do this before the fall semester because that's when they have their best staff time to do these migrations. If we wait till the end of the year, which is kind of the holiday time and when a lot of people go on breaks, well, same thing happens at Blackboard. A lot of folks take holiday time and breaks, and they are just concerned about doing anything that late in the year for moving to the cloud system. The way this works, we are planning for a 7-day downtime. That downtime period is from the last day that we use our own servers, and then we shut our servers down so that we can send them complete backups of everything on our servers. We will send that to them, and then they restore it on the cloud system, and that may take a few days to actually run those restroom processes because it is a different system. Even though it's 9.1, it's still the back-end systems are different. They'll have to do some conversion. And then the idea is that on August 10th, when we turn it back on the cloud, you log into MyTCC, it will essentially be the same Blackboard. You'll not really notice the difference. So the last day to access Blackboard is the last day is August 2nd, which will be when the grades are due anyway. And then just like as usual, instead of going down for 2 days, we will be going down for 7 days. The good news is we will not need to go down until then. So our usual May intersession time where we go down at the end of the semester, we're not going to do that. There's not a need to do that because we're not planning to do any more maintenance or upgrades on our existing servers until we make this change to the cloud. So when August 10th, like I say, everything will be the same, and there probably will be some minor improvements and updates on the Blackboard cloud because it will be the current release, which is about a year and a half ahead of where we're at right now. But it is still version 9.1. So to give you an idea of what's happening from now until then, first of all, the proposal that we sent forth to do this migration is going to happen. Well, the board will approve it this Thursday, I'll put it that way. It's on the consent agenda to be approved. Once that occurs, Blackboard will engage with us to do the planning, to kind of set down our dates for sure. But we are actually in that stage as of April 1st through sometime in July. We hope to be able to plan all this out. And then we will actually do some testing. We're going to test this migration probably a couple of times before the actual downtime. So we'll actually send them some backups and have them tested out on the cloud servers for us. So we'll be doing some cloud testing over that time. Sometime in May through July, we'll be testing out the building blocks, those extra, like the publisher's building blocks and things like that currently run on our server. I think there's a little over 100 of those that we'll need to test out, make sure everything's working properly. Then we'll do some more final migrated data tests on the cloud in June and July, all the way up till before we take it down. And then that final data migration, where Blackboard is totally offline, will happen August 3rd through August 9th, and then we'll hopefully go live on the 10th. And that's our plan now. And if there's a problem anytime in that time frame, we'll either delay or resolve the issues. So we're hoping everything will go pretty well. So what are the potential pitfalls? And people ask me that a lot. What's going to happen or what can happen? Well, this is actually, I think, going to be a lot better for us than what we just did over the holidays, because we had to actually upgrade our own servers. And in doing that, we didn't really want to go backwards, so to speak. So we had to do a lot of work on the back end. This is a little different. Our server will be unchanged. Essentially, we will run on our servers all the way until August 2nd. And then on August 3rd, we will go down, but our servers will just be turned off. And essentially, we'll just be sitting there. If the migration fails for whatever reason, if Blackboard can't get this up and running by August 10th, then all we have to do is turn our servers back on and just keep on going from then, and maybe postpone it till the end of the semester or sometime in spring or whenever. So really, there's very little problems that we can, at least right now, that we feel would potentially happen. The test migrations that we'll be testing between now and then, if something happens where we feel like this is just not going to work, obviously then we'll be looking at either postponing the date or just totally not going to the cloud at this time. But I doubt that, but you never know. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So, I mean, it's a real quick rundown of what's going to happen for our cloud migration. And like I said, eventually, the reason we're going to this cloud migration or going to the cloud with Blackboard is that Blackboard down the road with their new system called Blackboard Ultra, which we think will come out sometime this fall. We're not going to go to that platform yet, but we'll usually wait a while before, make sure all the bugs are worked out before we even look at going to that. Anyway, it is a very different interface. It's very similar to, in fact, Collaborate, the tool we're using right now. It's really streamlined and has a very different look and feel. Anyway, the Blackboard Ultra will only be available on the cloud. So if we want to stay with Blackboard and migrate to their newest, latest, greatest eventually in a year or so, then that's one of the reasons also that we're moving to the cloud. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions. I'll open up our chat here. And feel free to type in questions, or if you want to use your microphone, now's the time you can use it. Okay, well, I guess we covered all that we need to cover. I hope you all look forward to it. And we'll keep you posted along the way. I'm sure we'll be sending out emails and whatnot, letting everybody know the status. So everybody take care. I'm going to go ahead and stop